Hello everybody. I'm standing in front of my relatively brand new Coachmen Clipper 12.0 TD XL with the off-road package. I haven't seen many videos out about this particular trailer yet, but I wanted to show everyone what it has and why I bought it. One of the reasons I bought it was its weight. Unpacked, it weighs about 2,000 pounds. So I have a 2008 Jeep Wrangler JKU Rubicon that can only tow 3,500 pounds. I didn't want to have to get another truck, and I wanted to be able to take the Jeep to the places I wanted to camp in case I wanted to do any off-roading in the Jeep. So this can pull this. Now this is with the top out, how it would be set up if you were at a campground or an off-road location where you can camp on the side of the road, etc. So this is a quick walk around. Okay, I just wanted to tell you some of the features that this camper has that makes it so appealing to someone that has owned several campers in the past. I've had hybrids, I've had hard sides, and I've also had pop-ups. This is the first teardrop style, I guess a teardrop type hybrid that I've owned, mainly due to the lightweight, but the features that are on it is the reason I purchased this. So as we walk around, I'm going to describe some things. Now this one has the off-road package. It does come with regular tires and you know, without the spare attached to the back bumper. It's all up to you, but these are some of the things and some of the features that I liked about this, and I'll show you as I walk by and I'll talk about them. So first of all, we see from the side, it's simple to pop up. All you do is unclip the latches on either side. There's a strap inside the door, and you slowly let the roof up, and then it's done. You do have to put the door in. There's a half door for travel, but then you put a door in. It snaps, velcros, and there's little attachments that hold it in on the inside of the door. It has steps that go in. Spare tire is optional. I prefer to have one. Let's see. It does have outdoor lights, which are in blue LED. It does have a bottle opener here, which as you start to see, it's kind of weak. It doesn't look like it's braced, so I probably wouldn't use it. I probably would have attached that on a bumper. And it does have a dog leash holder, so it is pet friendly. LED lights, outdoor speakers, which I'll talk about when we get to the inside stuff. Lots of space out here. That goes all the way in and back. And as you can see, you can store a lot of items. On this side, this can attach, you can attach a grill to it. I probably wouldn't do that because the grill does come with a stand. Here's your quick connect for your propane. Now this is a all the way through compartment that goes to the other side. In mine, I'm able to store a pop-up shelter, the outdoor mat, and 2 bins full of items, some fishing rods. It'd probably fit a whole lot more. I'm just trying to keep the weight down because of my vehicle. It does have an attachment where you can plug solar panels in, and they do sell the solar panels, but they're around like $700 to $900. Propane tank on the front. Typical crank. It is a hand crank, and it's loose, so you could always upgrade that so that it cranks up better, or get an electronic crank. Marine battery. It's not top of the line, but it does have one, and it's kind of weird that it's pushed up against, you know, the outside of the camper shell, but so they probably will improve on that design. Moving to the other side, you can see there is a HD TV antenna for outlet. I bought an aftermarket. This is the other side of the pass-through storage. It does have an outdoor shower, typical handle and hot and cold. There's your, it does have a water tank. It also has an attachment for city water. There's your water tank. I think it holds 20 gallons or 24 gallons of water. Water heater, 30 amp cord. I think it's 25 foot long. There's your vents for your refrigerator, which does operate off of 12 volt battery, 120 volt, and also propane. It does have an outside antenna for the radio. Gutters for the roof where it comes down at the angle for the rain. Here is the kitchen sink drain hole, so you can run a hose down into a bucket or however you like to drain your gray water. It's your heater exhaust vent and your air conditioner outside drain and air. And like I said, I do have the off-road package, so it comes with the upgraded tires. I don't know if that really makes a difference or not. We have heavy duty jack stands. They're not for leveling, they're just for keeping it secure. There's your drain for your water tank. Pretty heavy duty axle. It does have electric brakes. So moving on, we'll go on to the interior. Okay, now I'm going to show you the interior. It's kind of a mess because we do use it, but it gives you an idea of how you can store items if you need to and some of the features. So with the full door on, as you can see, it does have a way to open it so that you can get screened air in. And if you have an animal on the outside, it is all screened, so you might want to put a protector there on the bottom half. So as you first start looking in, you can see in the front it's teardrop, but in the back you can stand up. Now I'm 6 foot tall, so I'm walking forward, and this is about as far as I can go, where I'm going to start hitting my head. But if you look over here, this is the kitchen galley area, and sorry about that, it comes with a stove and a small sink. So I'm able to stand if I use the indoor stove. So moving on, it has I would say it's about a full-size bed back here with 2 sliding windows, so you're able to open them up. I'm using windshield reflectix on the windows to keep it cooler in here. And if you look closely, you can see the cabinets in the back. There is pretty much storage in them. You know, they're not too deep, but they do go in. Now obviously the roof has an angle, but there is room to store a little bit of items. There's a nook back here. As you can see, I use little bins, and here's another of the closets. It's the same as the other side. There is an overhead light above the bed. It's all LED lighting in here. Indoor speakers for the radio. There's your antenna plug for the TV, if you have one. Now I used a modification I saw on another YouTube channel to put a stand in here. As you can see back here, hold on here. There's your furnace thermostat on and off. So it does have a heater in here. Your light switches, your plugs. There's more plugs on the ceiling. And then down here you can see there is a carbon monoxide alarm. There's your fuse box. There's your heater. Over here you have your air conditioner. It's a 5,000 BTU. They probably should have upgraded that a little bit. I'm not too happy with it. But you're not usually in your camper most of the daytime. If it was cloudy or raining out, it probably would cool great in the day. It cools just fine at night. I did another modification, as you can see, with the air deflector and some Velcro command strips, where it'll push the air up into up instead of down, and then I use a fan to blow it out. There's also a radio with plugs to get from your MP3 player or your iPhone. There's a charging center, your water heater switch, and your water pump switch. So moving on to here, there's under sink storage. As you can see, I use milk crates and bins a lot. A lot of storage under there. A drawer. And here's your refrigerator. As you can see, there's no freezer, so no frozen yummy popsicles in the summer. There is storage under the bed, and as you can see, it comes with a porta potty that I just use in a pop-up tent outside. So it is a Tetford with a cartridge. Very nice, and that's the space that you can use to store it. Once again, I made a fancy dancy milk crate to hold the toilet paper, first aid kit, and the camper chem. And I keep that with the pop-up tent. Now, and on the bed, you can use the bed to store stuff. I just have some chairs and a table. I've even put bikes in here so they can lay up there. There is storage under this bed. We got a chair right now. The grill goes under here. That's where I usually store it. And then if you look over here, here's a couch that does slide out into a bed. I'll show you that in a minute. And then here is a another storage compartment. It did have a hinge that would open out on it, and the first day it just broke. It's not a very good design. So what I did was I just modified it with some wood so it fits in between here and holds just fine. So in here I keep my pop-up toilet tent, the half door for travel, and it does have a little pop-up table in there, and I've modified a broom, but it all fits in there. And then I've used some command hooks for fly swatter. It does come with the fire extinguisher. More plugs, and under seat storage here, which goes into one of those outer doors, so it's actually a reach through, so I can keep quite a bit of stuff under here, as you can see, and I can get to it from the outside. So these are the switches for some of the lighting on the outside. Inside, here's the blue lights for, you know, just when you want to see, but you don't want it so bright in here. This is for the blue lights on the outside, as you can see. So there's some lights in here, and up on the ceiling. they keep it pretty bright in here. So how this comes out, basically, this bed is you just slide it. It just slides out like that, and then you would just put that pad right down in there, and then it makes a bed, and that's where my son sleeps. So reasonably you can fit 2 to 3 adults, or 1 adult, maybe 2 or 3 kids. That's about it in here. These do zip, these windows do zip all the way open, all of them. So if you want some cross flow air, these are the spring holders that keep the roof up. And it also has a smoke detector, as you can see. So it's like it has like a linoleum type fake wood floor. So it's pretty nice on the inside, and it does have all the features that you would find in a pop-up or a hardside camper. Okay, one thing I forgot to tell you about, and this was one of another thing that was important to me for camping with, obviously, the Jeep. As you can see on top, it does have a storage rack, and it's made for kayaks, and I do like to take my kayaks with me. But with the Jeep pulling this, I would have had to buy another attachment for the top of the Jeep roof or some other way. So this just had it on it already. You can also buy the Clipper without them, but for me it was just something that was more attractive to make the purchase. Now, I am disappointed in some of the things I found. This camper does appear to somewhat be hurriedly put together. This is I believe it's a 2020 model. No, it says it was built in December of 2019. So it's either a I would assume it would be a 2020 model if it was the end of 2019. I did see on the website some upgrades on the 2021 and 2020 models, so they are improving some things. But just quickly for me to point out some of the things that I'm a little disappointed in, and maybe it's not an issue on some of these, it's just me being picky because it's the first new camper I've bought in a while. But immediately one of the first things I noticed on the roof is just a little tiny dent right here, and you can tell it was manufactured where they filled the dent in with the caulking. So that could be an issue in the future with leakage. And I don't understand the caulking. If you look closely, the caulk is, it seems like it's covered up with some kind of silicone. Like if you look here, it's already starting to come off. And I never heard of using silicone on a camper for that reason. But I'm not an expert on the camper, but I can already see it's coming off. It's going to probably be a problem. On the inside, we had that storage door. The hinges immediately, the screws broke out of the top of the door like the first day I walked in. So because it opens outwards, and then you're trying to get your stuff out. So maybe I leaned on it a little bit too much, but either way, it should be better designed. I did see on here they did put gutters. I read on some sites that the gutters, if they weren't there on top of the roof where the roof comes up, that it could cause leaks on the interior cabin. So there's the gutters. And for the most part, I haven't had any leaks inside the storage areas. I've checked after heavy rains. Back here though, I'm looking, when I told you about the bottle cap opener for the bottles, if you look closely, I'll show you, it's not very secure. And I can just see someone sticking a bottle in there and ripping that right out. And then you're going to deal with these 2 holes. I don't even know if that's a feature that you even need to put on this camper. If I would have done it, I would have done it down here. So that's just my opinion on that. But these caps on the bumper are loose, and during driving they tend to torque and twist, and you have to keep checking them every stop to make sure they're still there, because they will wiggle out. As far as that goes, we have some issues with the door down here. There is a gap underneath right here that if water hits this way, it does let water into the camper. I will probably use some kind of foam tape right there, because this door comes on and off. I have to make sure the half door will still fit if I put the tape there. But that's something that needs to be fixed. And also right here, I don't know if you could tell, this weather strip here doesn't make it to the door bottom. So I would probably put like some kind of a sweeper in here that just hangs down just a little bit, like it's on the half door. That's probably what I would do, probably what I will do. In here, they use these old clips for holding the door frame in. And I think the newer models now use a lock, which I wish they would be able to modify on this, because as you know, these break off and they're really cheap usually. The screws never hold them. Oh, I forgot, this does have a handle on it for getting in and out, and then you can move it to the side for travel. So that's handy. Another flaw I see is the air conditioner. I think the upgraded models for travel have a snap cover so that water, when you're driving, doesn't go in and then the inside to not only the camper, but under here is where your radio and a lot of your wires are inside. So I don't want water in there. So I may have to make my own modification for that. As far as anything out here, I did see some wiring under here that I'm not super enthused about. Those are your brakes, which are very important for stopping, and they're just kind of, brake wires are just kind of hanging out. I don't really like that. I would have probably secured them better, and I'll try to figure out a way to do that, because, you know, look at that. I don't want that getting caught on anything when I'm driving, especially with the off-road package. You know, but, and then here's the tank, just showing you the water tank. And then here's more going under here, more wiring. It's just, I think that stuff should be enclosed somehow. It's just me. And there's your looks like gas lines. So those are just some of the things I wanted to point out, that, you know, some manufacturing that probably could have been done a little bit better. And like I said, my main concern though really is the silicone usage over a lot of the seams. But overall, I mean, you know, these are set up pretty good. Your canvas, it's attached up in there, so you don't have any issues of that coming down. You just have to make sure when you're putting the top down that you roll it up, you know, just like a pop-up. But other than that, I mean, it rides pretty good when it's being pulled, and it's pretty easy to set up. I can set this up in about 10 minutes compared to a pop-up that took maybe 30. So overall, I'm pretty happy with it. I'll give you I'll give the dimensions here shortly. I've just measured, and what we have for the width is a 7 foot and approximately 6 inches wide, because you have to leave for the bump outs over the wheel wells. So 7 foot 6 inches from front to back on this. Now this is the 12.0 TD XL with the spare tire. So I have almost exactly 17 foot in length. So 17 foot in length. Okay, the height with the top up to the bottom is approximately almost 10 feet exactly. Okay, from the top of the kayak rack right there to the ground, it's about 7 foot 7 inches. So I just remeasured that, 7 foot 7 inches. So it will not fit in my garage. So I'm gonna have to figure out something like that for the winter, because I really don't want to store it outside. Oh, main thing I forgot, one of the big features this comes with is an outdoor room attachment that would attach up there at the top with flexible rods, zips in up here, and gives a half moon shape, you know, out to the side here in the back, and they would snap on under here. Follow the instructions on the video, and the first time I set it up, as soon as it got clipped in at the top with the flexible rods, they snapped at the top. And it is a real pain in the butt to set this outdoor room up. So they need to come up with a better design, or they're, you know, I just wouldn't have it with the camper. If you don't, it may be some money off if you don't have it with the camper, and it takes up a lot of your storage room as well. It would be really cool if it was easy to set up and worked and the rods didn't break, but the rods actually, they're fiberglass and they go in sleeves like the old style tents. So they're very long. It's very hard to set up that way. So, you know, a modification I would do, number one, is fix up at the roof somehow so it attaches better. And then I would use clips, you know, where the rods attach to the outdoor room instead of the sleeves. So I was disappointed with that, because that was one of the features. Oh, one more outdoor feature I forgot. It does have outdoor GFI plugs, so I forgot that. And that pretty much covers everything on the TD XL, the 12.0. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them down in the comments. And like I said, you know, I haven't talked too much. I do use a weight distributing hitch for my Jeep, so that it does offset some of the sway and just provides a better ride. But even with a 3.8 liter V6 that the 2008 Rubicon does have, it goes from a paltry, you know, 14 to 15 miles per gallon. You know, it's a Jeep, it's not exactly aerodynamic, down to about 10 miles per gallon carrying the camper, and that's without water in it. And I tend to try to put all my equipment in the back of the Jeep that I'm taking with me camping, so there's just a minimal storage in here. You know, taking any weight, you know, it may have bikes or kayaks added or both, but I try to keep the weight down just for the towing reasons. And thanks for watching the video.